basketball coverage tonight, 8:30 p.m. First round action, preseason NIT. Long Beach State takes on Arizona. That's tonight at 8:30 Eastern Time on ESPN2. Becker to serve, 1 game all. Relatively few aces in this match so far, Fred. Not a very high percentage, but I'm enjoying the match because you're seeing a lot of points played, a lot of rallies. And it's become sort of, as you called it yesterday, a chess match between these two.
Well, it's a heavyweight contest, isn't it? Two huge servers, both going for it, not sort of giving anything. Becker continues to try and smack aces. Look at this service motion. That ball toss, though, causes him problem. You see where it's come from way behind, then he's got to throw it forward and reach up into it. And if he doesn't have the ball toss exactly in the right spot, that causes him some serving problems, and he's likely to throw in a few double faults. Just like that. That ball toss was over, a little bit too far over to the left. He chased it.
But I like your line on that one, if I may use it. He's got more movements than the Swiss watch, getting to that service position. And it is not easy. When Bollettieri got with him originally, that's one of the things he said he wanted to uncomplicate. Oh, that's a terrific play from Sampras, and it's going to give him a couple of break points. Good movement for Sampras. He realized that he was there in time, and instead of going for the big winner, he did this. Look.
Again, this is maturity. Becker, that ball would have hit the back fence if he'd have let it go, and he mishit it, and Sampras just had enough time. He didn't try and overplay it. Watch this again. There's the first. That's the second shot. Becker trying his best to dive at it, and look, he puts his hand to his head, say, why did I ever hit that other ball?
And then he cleans his own sweat off the court for fear that if he heads in that direction again, he's going to slip on it. Look at this.
Barbara Becker.
Break point. His third chance. He's broken twice.
Yeah, and a second serve.
Saves one. That's the first break point he saved in the match.
That's a pretty brave shot from Becker there down break point. And Sampras's net cord forehand went deep into the court. Very tough for him to come back with an outright winner under such circumstances. He did. He still has to save another one, though.
Saves another one as that very deep serve. He's taken a bit of a risk on that one. Stayed back too. Kafelnikov, incidentally, Fred, after his match yesterday, as you take a look at Sampras's group, was saying that he felt that when he was back with Sampras, that they were both back, that he had the better chances. He had the better chance, and the statistics showed that he did. Deuce. And now a game point for Becker. Having said that, Becker doesn't have the same ground game with Kafelnikov.
No. Very brave serve that on that last break point, though, from Becker. It hit right on the line. Sampras couldn't control it. Sampras has mixed up his returns very well on the heavy serve from Becker. When he gets a first serve in, Sampras is prepared just to block it back and give himself a chance at a passing shot.
He does it time and time again, clawing his way out of a desperate situation. Becker wins the game. There was a wild match yesterday here at the ATP Championships between Boris Becker and Wayne Ferreira. Becker had the hometown crowd behind him as expected, but Ferreira didn't seem flustered. He started out great. In fact, Ferreira forced a third set tiebreak, but in the end, Becker had the edge. He won it, but it was oh so close. Now it is Becker today against Pete Sampras. The winner of this match will for sure be in the semifinals. Even the loser may make the semifinals on Saturday, but it's a much tougher proposition, remembering that in that section is Kafelnikov and Ferreira, both of whom are saying that they're not out of it yet.
That last game was a must-win situation for Becker. He was down 2 break points in the first serve. He was ahead on serve on both occasions when he lost his serve to Sampras. On that occasion, he got out of difficulty, being down 15-40. So I just made a little mark there. If this match is to turn around, that would have to be the start of it. The crowd gave him a huge ovation at the change of ends to try and get him back into this match with Sampras.
15 love.
Turns a defensive situation into an offensive situation. Sampras just with one swing of the racket.
You know, Becker has been very consistent in the top 10. In fact, he says that he wishes he had made 11 ATP Tour finals in a row. In fact, he missed one. As you can see, just 1 year, 93, he was number 11 and didn't make it. But for the rest, he has been here, and that is a record that he feels might never be overtaken by some of these players. In Sampras' case, I have a feeling that he'll do it. But very, very consistent.
Well, Sampras had 6 in a row already.
Steer that one, Becker did, and it's game point for Sampras. Just missed it. It was pretty close, closer I think than Sampras thought it was going to be, but no doubt in his mind. Take a look. Yeah, it was long. Barely. Jerry Armstrong's not going to change it, that's for sure.
Sampras didn't even attempt to play the ball because it was one of those hook shots that was outside the line, and it kept curving back in. Lots of topspin, but too long.
2 games all. We nearly paid the price for that, trying to be a little cute instead of just putting it away. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Time here on ESPN, we'll continue our coverage from Frankfurt of the IBM ATP Tour World Championship. A lot of intriguing matches still to be played in the round-robin competition, all leading to the semifinals on Saturday and the finals on Sunday. You've got Sampras has to play Wayne Ferreira. Michael Chang has still got Courier in his division, and he's also got to play against Enquist.
Tennis fans from a few decades ago will mourn the passing of one of the great Italian Davis Cup players, Orlando Cirola, who succumbed to cancer a few days ago. Services are held today in Italy. He partnered Nicola Pietrangeli in a very successful Italian, couple of decades of Italian Davis Cup.
Love, game point Becker. He'll be remembered by many a clay court specialist that was driven to distraction by him.
Tall, very tall man, yeah. Big guy, nice. The gentle giant of the sport in those days.
That's also wide, and Becker holds on. They're on serve, 3-2. Becker leads. Sampras won the first behind 2 breaks.